Let me tell you, if there's one thing you never want to do in this world, it's pick a fight with someone's kid, especially if that someone happens to be a cop. I mean, people talk tough all the time, but let me set the scene for you. Picture a Tuesday, middle of the afternoon, when the world's just rolling along like any other day. Then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, everything changes, and you find out exactly who you are under pressure. That's what happened to Michael Rodriguez, a police commissioner who'd spent his whole life dealing with bad people. But nothing prepared him for the day someone broke his little girl's arm at school. You know what I mean? There are moments you think you've seen it all, then life throws you a curveball that makes your blood run cold. The call came at 2:47 p.m. Michael was buried in case files, half listening to the hum of the city outside his window, when his phone buzzed and the screen flashed, Sunshine Elementary. Right then, he knew. It's never good news from the school in the middle of a school day. Mr. Rodriguez, this is Principal Martinez. There's been an incident with Sophia. It felt like the floor dropped out from under him. She's at Memorial Hospital. It's her arm. Michael barely heard the rest before he was out the door, keys in hand, mind racing with worst-case scenarios. By the time he reached the emergency room, his heart was pounding so hard he could hardly breathe. There was Sophia, his precious 5-year-old, her arm in a makeshift sling, face streaked with dried tears, looking even smaller than usual on that big hospital bed. When she saw her daddy, she just broke down again. The mean lady hurt me really bad. Michael swallowed his fear and knelt by her, doing his best to be calm, stroking her hair, promising her it would be okay. Even though, deep down, he was already on the verge of losing it. Sophia's story came out in little gasps. How she was just playing with friends during lunch, how a woman started yelling about the garden and rules, how this lady, Karen, she learned later, grabbed her arm, squeezed, and twisted, ignoring Sophia's cries to let go. It hurt so much, Daddy. Just then, Dr. Chin walked in with the x-rays. It's a clean break, Mr. Rodriguez. 6 to 8 weeks in a cast. The pattern suggests, well, it took some force. Michael's jaw clenched, his knuckles white. Doctor, could this be an accident? Dr. Chin hesitated. Frankly, no. Not unless someone was intentionally twisting her arm. It's not a fall injury. You ever see red? Not just mad, but that cold, focused anger where every word feels like it's scraping your insides. That was Michael. He got Sophia her pink cast, carried her to the car, and drove straight to the school. There was Principal Martinez, all apologies and nervous energy. The volunteer, Karen Whitmore, has been suspended, he offered. She claimed Sophia was defiant, said she barely touched her. Michael knew the name. Karen Whitmore, the HOA president's wife, the neighborhood enforcer, always filing complaints about trash cans, grass, noise, whatever made her feel important. Show me the security footage, Michael demanded. And there it was on screen. Karen, stalking over to a group of 5-year-olds, her face all pinched and angry. She grabbed Sophia's arm, both hands, and twisted with a violence that made Michael's blood run cold. You could almost hear Sophia's scream through the glass. And Karen didn't even help. She stood over the crying child, still yelling, like she was scolding a misbehaving pet. That's when Michael realized. This wasn't just an accident or a misunderstanding. This was a person who thought rules and power made her untouchable. I want a copy of that footage. And her contact information, Michael said, his voice like ice. Mr. Rodriguez, let's handle this through the proper channels, the principal started. But Michael just looked at him. Principal Martinez, someone broke my little girl's arm. This is assault on a minor, not a school discipline problem. That night, after tucking Sophia in and kissing her goodnight, Michael went to work. Not as a dad this time, but as a police commissioner. He called Detective Sarah Chin, one of the city's best at handling cases involving kids. Sarah, I need you on this. I've got hospital records, security footage, witness statements. The suspect's name is Karen Whitmore. Sarah didn't even hesitate. Send it all. We'll handle it. Now, you'd think Karen would have the sense to lay low. Nope. The next morning, Michael's neighbor, Mrs. Garcia, called. Karen's at the HOA meeting right now, telling everyone your daughter faked it, that kids these days are soft and need more discipline. Michael didn't even finish his coffee. He put on his dress uniform, the one that lets everyone know exactly who he is, and marched straight into that meeting. Karen was holding court, blaming parents, claiming Sophia was disruptive. Michael waited, then cut her off. Are you talking about my daughter? The whole room turned. Karen's face went pale, but she recovered quickly, still clinging to her story. My 5-year-old daughter was playing with her friends when you broke her arm, Michael said, loud and clear. I have the footage. Let's watch, shall we? He hooked his phone up to the screen and let the evidence speak for itself. The room fell dead silent. A couple folks started crying, and Karen's husband, the HOA president, looked like he wanted to disappear. Karen, you said she fell, he whispered. We all just saw what happened, Michael replied. Then Michael delivered the line that ended any doubt. Here's what you don't know, Mrs. Whitmore. I'm the deputy commissioner of the city police. You committed aggravated assault on a minor. You could hear the air rush out of the room. Karen's face went from red to sheet white as Michael calmly explained that Detective Chin would be at her house the next morning with a warrant. You'll be charged with assault, child endangerment, and whatever else the DA decides, he added. Karen lost it, yelling about being a community volunteer, about her reputation. But the truth was there, in front of everyone, playing over and over on the screen. Her husband asked, Karen, is it true? Did you really? The answer was clear to everyone but Karen. Michael left, telling the room, maybe it's time the HOA found new leadership. One last warning to Karen. Stay away from my daughter, from the school, and from me, or being arrested will be the least of your worries. Next morning, Detective Chin called. We've arrested Karen Whitmore, $50,000 bail, felony charges on the table. Her husband filed for divorce and froze their accounts. Seems the whole community is turning against her. Michael felt a dark, grim satisfaction. The school introduced new volunteer policies, apologized, even sent a formal letter promising better protection for students. And as Sophia healed, showing off her cast decorated with stickers, she'd ask, Daddy, did you catch the mean lady? He'd answer, Yes, princess. She'll never hurt you or any other kid again. The news picked up the story, and it exploded online. #JusticeForSophia trending. Parents everywhere sharing their own stories of adults abusing authority. The DA offered Karen a plea deal, 5 years probation, anger management, community service, paying all Sophia's medical bills, plus a restraining order. Michael insisted on a public apology. At the hearing, Karen broke down reading it, finally facing what she'd done. Life moved on. Sophia's arm healed, the HOA elected new leadership, and Karen faded from the community. Her reputation, marriage, and power gone. But the lesson stuck. Actions have consequences. Michael framed the letter from the new HOA president, not as a trophy, but as a reminder that his greatest job wasn't just serving the law, but protecting his family. 6 months later, Sophia started kindergarten at a new school, wearing her daddy's little deputy t-shirt, walking in like she owned the place. So tell me, after all that, do you think the punishment fit the crime? Was justice really served? Let me know what you think in the comments, because sometimes the hardest lessons in life are the ones that teach us the most about who we are and what we're willing to fight for. If you believe in standing up for what's right, don't forget to share this story, like, and subscribe for more real-life tales of justice and redemption.